Boy, you can definitely tell rainy season is back. It is back and it's coming down strong. So rainy season here in Merida kicks off around June and will tend to go through October. And while Merida is a beautiful city, the rainy season, it can bring some difficult challenges, of course. And so I don't know, this time of year may not be the best time of the year to visit just because the rains, I mean, they can put a damper on things. But last year was the first time we had it pretty bad where it was just raining all day, every day. But the previous years before that, it would just rain for a few minutes and then just stop. But look at all that water. So this is nothing here. Now, it's been raining now for about 45 minutes. And I'll tell you this, if this was Central would already be flooded. I mean, you probably wouldn't be able to pass through many spots. And also in the inner parts of Merida. But out here in the country, we're out here in Concal. Once it stops raining, much of the water will recede and be back to normal in about 30 minutes. And out here in Concal, we have a lot more land mass out here, so the water is absorbed into the ground. But like I say, this is not like I say, it can be challenging visiting this time of year due to the storm. And one of the things that people tend to deal with here during rainy season is the heat and the humidity. Merida is hot year round, but the rainy season increases humidity out here in this area significantly. And combine the heat with this humidity, man, it can be unbearable and very, very uncomfortable. Flooding in Merida, I can say Merida is very prone to flooding, especially in certain areas. The city itself is flat, low-lying, and you factor in the lack of a comprehensive drainage system means that the heavy rain can quickly overwhelm the ground's absorption capacity to absorb the water. Like some parts of Cholula may get pretty bad when it rains trying to pass through that city. We almost got stuck a couple of times. The car started to cut off and cut off a few times indeed, but we were able to get it back going and get out. And like I say, rainy season particularly an issue in areas like Central, and definitely the issue in places like Los Americas and even Calcal, not Concal, but Calcal. Like I say, while the water usually drains within a few hours in most places, severe storms can cause prolonged flooding for quite a few days. But like I say, once this stops, like I say, it's been going for an hour, about 45 minutes now, just non-stop downpour. But it'll stop as quick as it started. And another issue with this time of the year, because of the heavy storms, there's more chances for power outages, depending on how severe the storm is. Fortunately, our power is still running here, of course. Our lights are still on and whatnot. I am going to go get a generator just to be on the safe side. I keep saying I'm going to get one, but just haven't made my way down there yet to go get it. And as you can see, our road is still drivable, and we can drive down this road easily, and the streets further down is not going to be an issue. But like I say, through certain parts of Merida, even in the northern side, many of the streets will just be unpassable. The other downside, the rainy season, of course, is the mosquitoes. There's an increase in humidity and water that just sits. Sometimes when it rains, people might have empty pools, and the rain fill those pools up a little bit. Empty trash cans just sitting out. And that's a breeding ground for mosquitoes, which of course means a higher risk for illnesses like dengue, Zika, and I definitely would advise you to get some mosquito repellent if you're coming during rainy season. When the humidity like this during the rainy season, we tend not to eat outside. Like at restaurants, we tend to go inside and eat inside, and I tend to wear long sleeves just to minimize the mosquito bites. And I put socks on because them jokers like to come at your ankles and whatnot. Most of the time, like I say, the rain would typically come in short bursts, and it's over right before it started. And you can be driving on the end, like right now it's raining over here, I can go 20 minutes down the road and it'll completely dry the whip. So sometimes depending on what you do, you're driving around and then you just run into a rainstorm right off the bat. But despite the negatives, I imagine tickets might be cheaper this time of year because you don't have as many people flowing into the city. Rainy season typically is considered low season. And like I say, so it's going to be less tourists here, less people visiting, so you might be able to find better deals on accommodations and whatnot. And again, other benefits, the rain, bring these trees and plants back to life, give them the water they need. And although the humidity can be an issue, I mean, hey, that humidity, it ain't no joke, but it brings some cooler temperature. Like normally I would have my air conditioning on, but I got both windows open. So I got this window over here open. There's a little window that's screened in. Oh, I got some water coming down there. All right. Oh, I got to clean that up. Let me shut that window. See that water down there? This ain't nothing in that safe. Just in case somebody wondering, to keep medicines in there. Let me close this thing. All right. So that helps create the crosswind. So that window was open. And there's a window over there and a window over here. And that'll help. I don't have to turn the air conditioning on. I'm just fine with my fan. So, like I say, while the rainy season can be challenging due to the heat, my neighbor there, be prepared, wear appropriate clothing, like I say, to protect you from the mosquitoes. If anything, get the mosquito repellent, and make sure your itinerary is flexible because the rain can throw a monkey wrench in some of the activities that you have. And but you can still have an enjoyable visit. And if your priority is comfortable weather, and consistent outdoor exploration, like hitting up those pyramids and stuff like that, the dry season from late October through March is typically preferred.